Putin's panicked purge could be a precursor to a new uprising. Even as Moscow scrambles to purge disloyal officers, a top general has taken over where Yevgeny Prigozhin left off. Vladimir Putin's war machine is showing massive cracks 3 weeks after the Kremlin's private mercenary army abandoned Ukraine to wage war against the country's regular military. While the Kremlin is purging disloyal military officers who could threaten further rebellion, a top general has been dismissed for picking up where mutiny mastermind Yevgeny Prigozhin left off. The 58th Combined Arms Army's commander, Major General Ivan Popov, claims he was fired after harshly informing the very highest level of military leadership about problems that were causing mass deaths among Russian troops. The leader of the Ukrainian army could not break through our ranks at the front, but our senior chief hit us from the rear, viciously beheading the army at the most difficult and intense moment, he said, echoing Prigozhin's words in the lead-up to his armed uprising. Among other things, he voiced concern over a deficiency in artillery reconnaissance and counter-artillery systems. He said, it was necessary to either remain silent and be a coward, saying what they wanted to hear, or to call a spade, adding that he could not lie. According to him, this led to his dismissal. The senior chiefs apparently sensed some kind of danger from me and quickly concocted an order from the defense minister in just one day and got rid of me. His remarks, which were made in an audio message to subordinates and later shared by a federal lawmaker late Wednesday, have been widely praised by pro-war Russian military bloggers and propagandists, with even Kremlin mouthpiece Vladimir Solovyov claiming that he had spoken the truth. United Russia Secretary General Andrei Turchik defended Popov on Telegram, saying that the motherland can be proud of the retired general. Turchik did object to fellow lawmaker Andrei Gurulyav making public Popov's complaints, calling him a political show for exposing the military's dirty laundry. The Kremlin propaganda machine has apparently had an easy time portraying Prigozhin as a rogue madman with his own agenda after his brief mutiny, thanks to his murky past. Popov, however, may prove to be a more formidable critic given his standing within the military establishment. The issues Popov raised are, in fact, crucial. Prigozhin also mentioned these same issues. What other way is there to communicate these issues to the higher-ups? Sergei Markov, a pro-Kremlin political analyst, wrote about the scandal. There has been no word on this from either the Defense Ministry or the Kremlin. However, recent data suggests that the net is being expanded covertly. Following last month's violent uprising led by Wagner Group founder Prigozhin, Russian security services reportedly rounded up dozens of high-ranking military officers, as reported by The Wall Street Journal. Reports that General Sergei Surovikin, the deputy commander of Russia's military operations in Ukraine, was among those detained for questioning after word got out that he knew about the mutiny in advance were confirmed by sources cited by the journal on Thursday. However, the consequences appear to be much wider in scope. According to the report, at least 13 high-ranking officers were taken in for questioning, some of whom have since been released, and 15 were either temporarily or permanently removed from duty. The detentions are about cleaning the ranks of those who are believed can't be trusted anymore, said one source. These are some of the alleged insults hurled at Lindsay Patrick Wright's daughter Pippi, a 6th grader at West Wilson Middle School in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, this school year. During the weekend's Wilson County School Board meeting, Patrick Wright read the list aloud during the public comment period. When questioned by the Daily Beast, she admitted she had omitted a detail. To paraphrase, "My mom says it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve." According to Patrick Wright, to which Pippi responded, "Well, I'm a lesbian, so I don't want Adam or Steve." According to Patrick Wright, it was in 4th grade that Pippi first told her parents she was a lesbian. After waiting another 6 months, Pippi finally asked to be addressed with the gender-neutral she, they pronouns. Then it was they, them, Patrick Wright explained. Patrick Wright claims that Pippi's 2 teachers and the school counselor have been extraordinarily helpful. There were several close and protective friends that Pippi had. "But my child should not have had to hear the awful things that they heard," Patrick Wright cried. The mother stated that the verbal abuse became more frequent in February, when the school musical this year, The Addams Family, was performed. "My kids shaved their head, and they did it in part because they were playing Uncle Fester," Patrick Wright explained. The mother speculated that Pippi was unhappy, at least 30%, if not 50%, of the school year. "And it's primarily because a lot of this was happening on the bus," Patrick Wright explained. "It occurred on the bus, in the lunchroom, and in the corridor. And those are three areas where it's especially challenging for faculty and administration to enforce discipline. The teachers are doing a great job," she continued. "And I can't say that I'm angry at the management. It's the elected officials' fault that this rhetoric is being repeated in people's homes, and I hold them accountable for it." She speculated that adults are responsible for about 80% of racism and bigotry. As for what she meant, all of it, she simply said. There have been 19 anti-LGBTQ+ bills passed by the Tennessee legislature since 2015. To quote the bill itself, "A person's immutable biological sex is determined by anatomy and genetics existing at the time of birth and evidence of biological sex." There has been an increase in the attendance of right-wing extremists with ties to groups like Moms for Liberty at Wilson County School Board meetings. They criticized public education and demanded that all books featuring LGBTQ themes be removed from classrooms. Patrick Wright pointed out that many of the protesters don't even have a child enrolled in the public schools in their area. According to an interview she gave with the Daily Beast, she has spent the past year, getting up at board meetings to talk about book banning and talk about the epidemic of Moms for Liberty and what they are doing to dismantle the public education system. "That's where my attention has been. I've been hesitant to put my child in the limelight." However, Pippi recently revealed that they would be skipping next year's classes altogether. In order to avoid being bullied on a daily basis, the students lobbied for themselves to attend virtual school, as explained by Patrick Wright. "They're psyched, and we've got lots of things planned to keep them engaged with others." As a result of the ruling, Patrick Wright could express her opinion without worrying about the consequences for her child. She told the Daily Beast, "It allows me to stand up and speak for the parents who aren't ready to and for the children who can't." The 7-person school board holds work sessions in between regularly scheduled meetings. During a meeting on July 6, Pippi's board representative, Joseph Padilla, proposed sending a written notice to a parent or guardian within 3 days of any staff member learning that a student identifies as a gender that does not align with a child's sex on their birth certificate. Padilla stated, "This is common sense to me," during the discussion. Only one of the 7 board members, Carrie Pfeiffer, opposed taking the students on the field trip. She said to her coworkers, "I would say that the school's role is not the role of the school. The connection between students and instructors would be weakened, if not broken, in my opinion." Padilla responded with the extreme right-wing viewpoint. "Our goal is to inform parents if their child expresses a desire to use a different name." This did not fly with Pfeiffer. "My position on that is that it is not the school's job to do your parenting for you and to have that relationship on your behalf," she said. "A child's ability to learn is negatively affected if he or she doesn't feel safe interacting with adults at school. And it is the school's job to maintain a relationship, an educational relationship with the child." Padilla refused to acknowledge what everyone else saw as obvious. "When a child gets in a fight at school, we call the parents," he explained. "We notify parents if a student is found in possession of drugs on school grounds." "Are you implying that how a child identifies sexually or gender-wise is a matter for discipline?" asked Pfeiffer. Patrick Wright came prepared to Monday night's regular school board meeting after watching a video of the work session online. She also had a collection of T-shirts, stickers, and buttons that Pippi had made, all bearing the 3 words that Padilla used as her own personal mantra throughout the year at school. During the public comment session, Patrick Wright wore one as she approached the podium. She claimed, "I'm the one responsible for these shirts, and I'll explain why. I'm a parent of a Wilson County Schools student, and I've said things like, if I can't be here in person, I'm watching these meetings with my 13-year-old at home, and we keep seeing our zone representative, Joe Padilla, make bigoted comments and propose discriminatory policies that target LGBTQ students and say that he's not going to change."